people? Welcome back to GMB Footy Talk. It's your boy Gabe in this building. Sorry for missing the late review of the last weekend's preview of the games last week. I'm sorry for missing that, but we'll rectify that going into the next preview of this weekend's games, with the first one being Newcastle Arsenal at 12:30. Be a good tasty game. I was back at the Carabao Cup results that both teams had. Newcastle getting the win against Chelsea, which was big for them to bounce back from last weekend against Chelsea, and Arsenal getting a 3-0 win against Preston in the Carabao Cup to progress into the quarterfinals as well. So I think it was a good result for both teams. I think both teams will gain some confidence from the back of the results. I think it'll be a good competitive contest in the game, with the midfielders with Joe Linton, Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes, with Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, and Marino as well. Even the forward line with Newcastle that could potentially cause problems to Arsenal back line, but even though Arsenal's defence have been a bit leaky this season and conceding goals, but I think they'll still give you chances, and I think it'll be a close match-up as well, so I think it'll be a good game. My score will be, I think my score will be 2-1 Arsenal. I think they'll get the job done, and I think they'll get the 3 points. Next one, Liverpool-Brighton, 3 o'clock. Obviously, they played each other in the Carabao Cup, which was a close one as well. Obviously, both teams rotated and didn't play their full-strength team. But I think Liverpool will feel good after the back of that result, and I think they'll be full of confidence and in good form going into that game at Anfield, and I think they'll get the job done in the 3 points and put in a good performance. But I think it'll be a competitive one because Brighton's been good this season, and I think they'll have a good goal against Liverpool at Anfield and try and hurt them and hopefully gain a point at their ground, because I hate Liverpool, mate. But obviously I don't think it's going to happen, but I think Liverpool will edge it as well. But the score will be, I think it'll be 3-1 Liverpool. I think they have enough firepower to beat Brighton as well with the high line that they usually play. So I think with the attackers, I think they'll win the game. Next game will be Ipswich Town against Leicester City. Ipswich are not in good form right now after the back of the loss against Brentford. I think they can be proud of the performance and with the fight that they've shown, but in the last minute, I think they were just unfortunate with the defeat. But I think Ipswich will be desperate to bounce back and get their first 3 points of the season to galvanise them and gain some confidence into winning games in the Premier League and gaining more points. And I think against Leicester, they have a good chance in doing that. And I think Ipswich will hopefully, with the way they're playing and the attackers they have, they will get the 3 points against Leicester. And Leicester as well, they're in bad form at the moment in terms of the defeats against United in the Carabao Cup 5-2, and the defeat against Forest as well. They're desperate to bounce back from those results. I think they wouldn't want to lose this game after the 2 bad results that they had previously. So I think they'll be desperate to get back into form with absolute determination to get the win. And I think they'll be desperate to get it as well. So I think both teams will be going at it this weekend. So I think it'll be a good game. My prediction will be 2-1 Ipswich. I think they'll edge it with the home crowd, the way the home crowd will galvanise the players, and Leicester are not in full of confidence at the moment, so I think it will be a good result for Ipswich, but a bad one for Leicester. But unfortunately, I think it will be a good result for Ipswich as well to get their first 3 points of the season. Next one, Bournemouth, Man City. Obviously, Man City came off with a defeat against Spurs in the Carabao Cup. Didn't play their full strength team, but Tottenham did. But came off with a defeat. I think they didn't play too badly against Tottenham, but I just think they didn't really have a fire. I didn't think they have firepower to create the chances to score the goals against Spurs and being able to pull in the back of the net. But I think City are having an injury crisis right now with the injuries to Doku, to Savinho, Kyle Walker, Kevin De Bruyne, Akanji. Am I missing anyone else? Rodri. Anyone else am I missing? I don't know if I'm missing anyone else, but I think they're going through an injury crisis right now, but they're still getting results and still getting the points in on the board to keep up in that title race in the league. And I think it'd be a tough test against Bournemouth because they'll be in good spirits after the back of that draw against Villa last week. So I think it'll be a brilliant game as well. So I think Bournemouth will give a real go against City, even with the injuries that City have. I think they'll put in a good competitive game as well. So yeah. Predictions, I'm going to go for 2-1 City. I think they'll edge it. I think 2-1 Bournemouth. I think they'll edge it. I think they'll be able to get the job done. City, even their performance hasn't been good all season, but they're just getting the results and they're getting the 3 points that they desperately need, and they're really being, well, I'll say they're just winning, really. Even without the performance, they're still winning. So I think it'll be a good 3 points for City in terms of like the title race that'll be happening with Liverpool and Arsenal. So I think it'll be a good result for City. Next one, Southampton, Everton. It's a real relegation battle game. I think it'll be a good competitive game. I think it'll be two teams that'll be desperate for the win. I think Southampton will be in good spirits back after that Carabao Cup win and gaining confidence from that, and Everton gaining a draw against Fulham in the last minute and playing all right, playing decent, and I think it'll be a good close game with a relegation fodder with Southampton and Everton. So I'm gonna go for 2-1 Everton. Next one, Forest, West Ham. A brilliant game. I'm expecting. Forest are in good form right now. Back after that result in the East Midlands derby against Leicester City. They're in good form at the moment, and they're really putting the brink on the Premier League this season. I think they're doing well for their standards. That they're usually near the relegation fodder. So I think it's really good. It's really good that Forest are keeping the consistency of winning games that you're not expected to win in, like the Liverpool game, but you're expecting a good competitive one against any team in the Premier League. But even if they're not playing well, they'll still get the job done and the result. But I think it's good that Forest are gaining some wins and gaining some confidence with their players as well, with Alanga, Chris Wood and Hudson-Odoi, Morgan Hughes-White and others as well. So I think it's a good one as well. West Ham as well, coming back after that 2-1 result against United. It was a good result for them, and I think they'll gain confidence from that, and I think they'll be going into this game thinking they should be getting the win, but I think Forest are the form team and they're at home, and I think Forest will gain more advantage with the crowd. Their 12th man, I think they'll be able to have enough to beat them as well, in my opinion, because they're on form right now. So I think my prediction is 2-1 Forest, and I think it'll be a good result for Forest, and they keep going on that unbeaten run that they're on. Next one, Saturday, 5:30, Wolves v Crystal Palace. It'll be a good game in terms of the results that Wolves had last weekend against Brighton, from being 2-0 down, coming back to 2-2 in the last few minutes, and I think Wolves will be in full of confidence and galvanised from that result, for being able to fight back from 2-0 down and being able to come back and not win the game, but salvage a point at Brighton, which is a good thing for them. Palace as well, who got off with their first win against Spurs, which was unexpected, but it was a brilliant performance from Palace on that day last week against Spurs, who showed more grit, showed more heart, showed more fight, and I think it was a brilliant performance from Palace as well. So I think they'll be going to this game with confidence as well. Even in the Carabao Cup, they won as well against Villa, so I think they'll be in full high spirits going into the game as well. Even though it'll be a big blow, losing Eze in that game as well with the hamstring injury that he suffered against Villa in the Carabao Cup, but I think he'll do well. Not do well, but I think Palace will miss their star man, their star talisman in the team, and I think Eze is a big miss, but I think the creativity that Eze brings to the Palace team will be a big miss, and I think they'll struggle without him. This game, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Wolves win. They're at home. I think the crowd will get them the win, and I think the football that they play, the dominance, and I think with Gary O'Neill, I think they're a well-coached team, and I think they'll get the job done against Palace. Sunday, 2 p.m. Spurs v Villa. This was the fixture, the top four battle last season. I think Villa won this last season 2-1, where it was a close game. Both play a bit similar with the high line. Usually, Son was usually offside multiple times last season in the previous fixture. In the last fixture in the same ground against Spurs, I think he was offside 3 times, and he finished all of the goals, I think. So I think it'll be a close game, this game, Tottenham Villa, so I think it'll be a close match-up. Tottenham will be in high spirits after the result against City, getting the win. But there's also negatives as well, with obviously losing Mickey van Ven with a hamstring injury, losing their key defender as part of that defence, and I think Tottenham will be able to cope in that game, and I think they might. I think it'll be a huge importance to get a result against Villa, even without Mickey van der Ven. I think it'll be an important 3 points for Spurs to get against Villa in the way they are. And Villa, they need to. I think they're desperate to bounce back from the draw against Bournemouth at the last minute, and also losing to Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup, even though they didn't play the full team. But I think they're gonna try and bounce back from that defeat and a bit of dip in form. But I think they're gonna try and get the 3 points this Sunday. This game, I think it's got a 2-2 written all over it. A close matchup, a high, entertaining, thrilling game. Both playing the same way, high line. Usually similar, where Son will run in behind and slots it in the back of the net, and the same with Ollie Watkins as well for Villa as well. So I think it'll be a close matchup and a good game as well. Super Sunday, 4:30 kickoff. United Chelsea. Good result for United after the back of the Carabao Cup result against Leicester. Ruud van Nistelrooy, first game in charge as interim coach. they'll be in high spirits. I think United will feel that they'll have the advantage of the fans being their 12th man, backing them, supporting them, and trying to nullify Chelsea and trying to suffocate Chelsea in that stadium. And I think United will be in good high spirits and be confident that they'll get a result at Old Trafford this Sunday against Chelsea. And Chelsea as well, they come off with a good result against Newcastle in the Premier League last week, but from this week, the way they lost against them in the Carabao Cup was a damning result as well. But they played a B team as well, so I think they rested most of their squad. But I think them first team players will be prepared for this game against United at Old Trafford. But I think this game will be a bounce back for Chelsea, but in their head. But not in my head, but in their head. But I think Chelsea will be desperate to bounce back from that, and United will be desperate for a win against Chelsea, because it's been how long United's been destined to win against a big six at Old Trafford. It's probably, I think it was the last year against Chelsea where they had Pochettino and we won 2-1 when McTominay got the goals. So I think United will be desperate for a win against Chelsea for the 12th year in a row at Old Trafford this time. So yeah, for this game I'm gonna go for 2-1 United. I think they'll edge it, even though in my heart it's saying 2-1 United, but in my head it's thinking like a 2-2 close game. I think there'll be goals. I think it'll be cagey as well, because I don't think it'll be exciting, entertaining, but I think it'll be cagey as always. And I think people, like the players, wouldn't want to make any mistakes, but I think it'll be cagey. I think there will be goals in this game, so I think it'll be a 2-2 in my head, but in my heart I will say 2-1 United. So I'm gonna go with 2-2. Next one, a London derby, Fulham, Brentford, Monday Night Football. Brentford coming off good results against Ipswich last weekend. The Carabao Cup, winning on penalties as well. I think they'll be in high spirits in this game, and I think with the form and Bournemouth in, getting Leicester back in the team, and Brentford playing good football as well, I think they'll be in high spirits in this game and trying to bring that confidence back into Brentford to climb up the table and try and stay away from the relegation fodder. But I think they'll be alright, and I think they'll be competitive against Fulham, so I think it'll be a good game. Also Fulham as well, it was a damning result last weekend against Everton, capitulating in the last minute against Everton in the last minute with Beto, and I think it was a bad one, but I think they will be destined to bounce back and try and get the win against Brentford to ease the confidence and get a good result against Brentford. And I think with the quality players they have with Smith Rowe, it will be Traore, Raul Jimenez, Muniz, the striker, and all these attacking players that they have. I think they'll be desperate to get the win and the 3 points as well. So I'm going to go for 2-1 Fulham. I think they'll be able to edge this, and I think they'll be able to get a good result as well. So I think they'll be able to bounce back from that damn result against Everton. So yes guys, this is the weekend preview. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you follow GMB Footy Talk on Instagram and like and subscribe on the YouTube channel as well. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and get in the comments on some of the games and let us know your scores as well in some of them as well. And next week we'll be back for the review as well.